Hello, eighth grade. In today's lesson, we will be solving absolute value equations. To begin, let's think about the definition of absolute value. The absolute value of a number is its distance from zero on the number line. So, for example, if you have 0 and we want to look at the absolute value of a number and we know it's 5, there are two numbers who have a distance of 5 from 0. One of them is the number 5, and the other one would be the number -5. Both of these values are 5 units away from 0. In general, there may be 2, 1, or 0 solutions to an absolute value equation. For instance, the example x equals 5 has 2 solutions. The absolute value of a number is 12 would have 2 solutions. 12 and -12 are both 12 units from 0. However, if you have the absolute value of some number is 0, that will only have one solution. 0 is the only number on the number line that is 0 units away from itself. Here's a third situation. If you have the absolute value of some number equals -3 or -7 or any negative number, we say that equation has no solutions because absolute value can never be negative. Distance is never negative. Some equations take more than one step to solve. Look at the following example. We have 3 times the absolute value of x plus 7 equals 24. Well, to solve this absolute value equation, we're going to use inverse operations to isolate that absolute value expression. So think of this as some quantity, some amount. We want to get that amount by itself. To do so, we divide both sides by 3. On the left, we do 3 divided by 3, which equals 1/1. On the right, we have 24 divided by 3, which equals 8. Now we're ready for the next step. We have the absolute value of a number plus 7 equals 8. There are 2 solutions to this equation because there are 2 numbers who have an absolute value or a distance of 8 from 0. There's the positive and then there's the negative. So to solve this equation, you're going to divide it into 2 cases. In the first case, you set the absolute value of x plus 7 equal to 8. In the second case, you're going to set it equal to -8 because we're looking at the negative spot on the number line. Remove your absolute value signs, and you have x plus 7 equals 8, x plus 7 equals -8. We're going to solve these 2 simple equations by subtracting 7 from each side. For case 1, that gives you x equals 1. For case 2, -8 minus 7 is -15. You get x equals -15. Now let's check our answer to make sure it checks. So for x equals 1, you put a 1 in for x, and you have 1 plus 7, which is 8. 3 times the absolute value of 8 is just 3 times 8. And yes, that equals 24. It checks. For the second situation, the second case, x equals -15, put your value in for x. -15 plus 7 equals -8. But the absolute value of -8 is 8. And 3 times 8 is 24. Yes, it checks it up as well. So we have check, check. On to another example. In this example, we have -8 equals the absolute value of x plus 2 minus 8. Again, our goal is to isolate this absolute value equation, or excuse me, this absolute value expression. To do so, we will add 8 to each side. So we have plus 8, plus 8. Do the math. -8 plus 8 is 0. And over here, this -8 goes away. So we have 0 equals the absolute value of x plus 2. But wait, I said there's only one number who has the distance of 0 from 0, and that's 0. So we only have one case. To solve for x, we subtract 2 from each side, and we get negative 2 equals x. To check this one solution, put negative 2 in for x. We get negative 8 equals 0 minus 8. The absolute value of 0 is 0. It goes away, and we have negative 8 equals negative 8. Again, it checks. And here's the last example where we have no solution. There are no solutions to make this true. Let's see why. In this example, 3 plus the absolute value of x plus 4. We want to get the absolute value of x plus 4 alone. To do so, we subtract 3 from each side. But now we have a problem because the absolute value of a number can never be negative, and there is no solution. Nothing to check, there is no solution. Here's some questions to think about. How can you tell when an absolute value has two solutions? Well, that happens when we have the absolute value of a number that equals anything that is 1 or above. So let's put 10 or 12 or 292. Those all have two solutions because they have a distance from 0 on the positive side of the number line and on the negative side of the number line. How can you tell when an absolute value equation has one solution? Well, that would be when we have an absolute value of something that equals 0. There's only one number that's 0 units away from 0. Finally, how can you tell when an absolute value equation has no solutions? Remember, absolute values can never be negative. So if the absolute value of a number equals a negative number, there are no solutions. Thank you very much.